So here we have a new 2025 Jeep Wrangler. This one comes in the Rubicon trim level. This one is a 41 exterior paint job here. Love that. And then we have the black Napa leather interior. This one also has an AEV package, so we get 37-inch tires, a 2.5-inch lift, tons of other features. But the powertrain consists of a 3.6-liter naturally aspirated V6 mated with an 8-speed automatic transmission. As we come around to the front end here, we do get our LED headlamps along with the LED daytime running lights and LED fog lights. The lights don't dance like that. That's just how my camera's picking them up. But this is a $94,000 vehicle, $9,000 off here at Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Franklin. You can see the winch there. It's just, it's a sick vehicle, it really is. As we come around these wheels here, these are gonna be 37-inch tires, and then we do get 17-inch wheels. And it's a nice look there. I really like how they did this. You get passive keyless entry on the front. And then to the door panel here, power mirror controls, power door lock controls, little space in that side pocket there, headlamp controls. We get a manual tilt telescoping steering wheel. Look at the pedals. And then here's our power driver's seat. We do get 4-way power lumbar support there. But I want to give a huge thanks to Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Franklin again for allowing me to review this Wrangler today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But there's my legroom here, pretty good. Now where the door opening is a bit smaller than I'm used to and the seat's kind of taking up half of that space, it's a squeeze getting in here, but once you're in here, the space is pretty good. The netted pockets are on both sides. You have the AC vents here. You can roll your windows up, and then you do have 2 USB duos there, so USB-C, USB-A port twice, and then you have a 115-volt 3-prong household plug-in. And there's a look at the front from up here, or back here, excuse me. Hard top and all of that. And you can see we do have the middle seat that folds down. About knocked my camera out. Then you have the bottle holders in there. But I mean, again, relatively good space back here, I think. Let's see if we can make our way to the back. Child locks are here if you want to put a key in there and turn it one way or the other to lock or unlock. And then here we have the fuel tank. Now, a cool option on this one is, and you might need it with the fuel economy I've been getting so far, you have a gasoline tank right here, and that's kind of your, if you run out, you can fill it up here. So interesting to have that on here, like a little cubby almost. But there's a look at the back end with the spares, you can see. And then you can open the door up there, pop this up, and actually pretty good room, I think, in the back. We do get an Alpine sound system. I think it's 13 speakers, but there's a sub for that there. And then we have the top tethers integrate on the back of the seats themselves. 12 volt here, and then storage compartment. And we have a few goodies in there as well. So I will say this package is not cheap. This American Expedition vehicles off-road package here, but it does give you a lot. There's the tow hitch there, the exhaust, it's a nice look underneath. But I mean, you get so much here. I'm gonna show you the sticker here in a minute showing all the options that are put on this one in particular. Your lower anchors for the car seats right there. And I mean, pretty easy to get to and from. You can just pull this up and then fold that flat into the floor there if you want to. And I'm so glad we have that as opposed to that older design where you had to like pull this part up and then fold that part down. And then our front passenger seat, I love that we get power adjustability on a Wrangler. Even though it is a Rubicon, you get power front passenger with 4-way power lumbar support. Love that. And then you have a lockable glove compartment here. And then the moment you've all been waiting for. Pause anywhere you need to take a closer look at this window sticker, but this one is decked out This is just the Rubicon itself before the AEV upfit. Ton of options here. I mean, pretty solid fuel economy in my opinion for a V6 four-wheel drive. But look at this. This is what's crazy. So your standard features with this include the 2.5-inch suspension, the stabilizer upgrade, rear bumper, all of that's $18,324. And then you have a few other options here, like the winch, the fuel caddy, the snorkel. $93,943 with everything included here. And this also has a lifetime warranty from AEV, which is pretty cool. It's a limited warranty, so I don't know what it covers, but it's still nice to have. Now, as we come back around to the front, just a quick look in the engine bay. Well, there's that 3.6 liter V6. Now, before we hop in the driver's seat, I'm just going to show off the blinkers. So love having LEDs there. And then we have them up front as well. So let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So nice leather wrap steering wheel here. There's a horn. Over here to the infotainment system. Home page here. We have AM, FM, XM radio. We get Bluetooth audio, wireless CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility as well. Dual zone automatic climate controls with our 3-stage heated seats. And then we have our heated steering wheel as well. So this is pretty much everything that you need here. Then you have buttons and knobs down below with your auto stop toggle, traction control, hazards. And then you have your volume and tune knob as well. Navigation here. And then you can also pull these up on the side, kind of like a quick shortcut, which I like since your climate controls are on the screen, but you have buttons and knobs for pretty much everything down below. So I think Chrysler's still leading the pack with these infotainment systems, not trying to put everything in the screen and then you have no other way to do anything. But front camera, backup camera, your settings in here, change your language, and then your units of measurement. You have a few other settings that you can adjust if you so choose. Actually, quite a bit. Aux switches are here, and then you can also use buttons down below as well. So again, everything that's in the touchscreen that's important, I think, for the most part, that you wouldn't want in the touchscreen, you still have a button for that if you don't want to use it. Now down here, 12 volt, all your windows, you can roll those down, then you can unlock and lock the rear windows there. There's an aux and then a USB-C, USB-A duo there that'll run directly to the radio. You have your differential locks and all that here. Sway bar. Again, the aux inputs, the buttons are right here. And then you have your four-wheel drive control there, and then your shifter. So just pull this, reverse neutral drive, manual mode. Handbrake for the parking brake. Bottle holders. And then you have a storage compartment at the bottom, has a USB-A port. And then you have a top cubby as well. There's a look at the back seat from up here. And then we do have our vanity mirrors kind of covered up by this. I don't think it's taped, so I'm just gonna leave that alone. We can see this one over here. And we do get LED lights, so that is actually surprising. I'm so glad we have that in a Jeep. But back to the steering wheel, left side stalk. Blinkers, high beams, and then we have our wipers, intermittent, low, high, and then we have our rear wiper there, intermittent on, pull up for the front fluid, push back for the rear fluid. And then behind the steering wheel, left side, we can go through radio stations, track lists, and then right side, volume, up, down there. These 4 arrows and the OK button go through the digital part of the gauge cluster right there in the middle. And then we have our Bluetooth controls, voice recognition, adaptive cruise. We can set the gap there, and then our standard cruise here, and we can set our speeds, cancel and resume. Push button start. Finally, here's the key fob with remote start. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2025 Wrangler Rubicon out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Wrangler here, love the AEV package here. It just makes this feel even more rugged than it does stock. Love having the bigger tires, the winch. It's ready to go without having to do a bunch of aftermarket mods yourself. And then just having that limited lifetime warranty from AEV as well is a nice touch. But this drives like a lifted Jeep Wrangler. And I like that about this because it's just, it's what you want when you're getting one of these. You want something that drives like a Jeep, that handles like a Jeep, that can go off-road like a Jeep. And this does not disappoint in that sense at all. And the V6 handles pretty nicely here. I think the Turbo 4 wouldn't be a huge issue, but having the naturally aspirated V6 here does feel a bit more natural. And you can hear that nice hum you get from these bigger tires just from the vehicle itself. I really like that. Not overly loud, at least not yet. We'll see when we get on the interstate, but as of now, I like it. It just gives me that presence that I'm in an off-road, I should say a super off-road Jeep Wrangler. But this thing handles like a typical Jeep would, and at least like a typical Wrangler would. But I really I'm here for it. It's so much fun to drive. It's so neat. And for almost 100 grand, it does put a smile on my face driving it down the road. Now you would think for $100,000, you're paying that much for a V6, but not really a big issue for me. So we're gonna try to give it a pull getting on the interstate here. Here we go. So there's a quick pull there. And a nice sound, even with the V6. Now I want to give one more huge thanks to Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Franklin in Franklin, Tennessee for allowing me to review this Wrangler today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But you can kind of hear the sound acoustics here as I'm driving down the road. Now with this one having a lift and all of that, it's pushing a pretty heavy vehicle, so getting it going does require a downshift or two, especially on an incline like I was just doing. And you know, the lift and the tires and the extra weight does diminish your fuel economy just a tad. I'd expect to get 14 to 16 miles per gallon. Now on the highway here, it just depends. Like here, I'm going up and down the interstate. That kind of eats into your fuel economy, but on a flatter surface, you're in a little better position. But all all in all, for the money, if you want something that's cool, that's a head turner, that is just ready to roll, this is a good way to go, especially if money's no option. You don't necessarily need a 392, want a 392, because a 392, when you add this kind of package, is pushing closer to 150 as opposed to 100. This is probably the way I would go. Honestly, me just knowing the sound that you get from the 392, I probably would do the 392 just because those things are just insane. But you won't be disappointed unless you just really want that V8 going into something like this, if, you know, having a winch and all of this aftermarket stuff is a benefit to you. If it doesn't really matter, then you might want to spend the same money and get a 392 without all this extra. But again, that's all just based on your preference. I will say this this Wrangler is bad to the bone. It's fun to drive, and no disappointment coming from me on this vehicle. So with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2025 Wrangler Rubicon with the AEV package.